Welcome to Bethpage State Park, the People's Country Club, and the host of the 2025 Ryder Cup. Later this week, the best players in the world will descend upon the black course. And that makes sense because it's only for highly skilled golfers. But the truth is, anyone can actually play there. It's a municipally owned golf course. What you have to do is drive down there, park in a numbered spot, and then you wait out the night before. You get some food and some drinks, and you hang out in your car. And then the next morning, an employee comes by just around 5 a.m. and gives you a ticket. You head over to the clubhouse, and you get your tee time for the day.
Well, I got here at, 7:30 last night. Slept in the parking lot. Slept like crap. And then about 30 cars before me, the black sold out. So, looks like I'm playing the red today.
Bethpage Red is a Tillinghast design, the same guy who did Shinnecock, Baltusrol, and Oakland Hills. Bethpage Black and Red were both built as a Depression-era public works project. The red is actually the older of the two courses and is favored by locals because it's just as good, but more fun to play. Despite not getting on the black, I'm still going to attempt to break 75 today with a few caveats. First, I'll be doing it net. I joined a father and his son who were so good that they played the tips and I ended up playing with them. This made me a course 20. Also, due to the Ryder Cup infrastructure, it was playing as a par 68, so I have to shoot net plus 6 or better to meet my goal. I pop on every hole and get 2 on 9 and 15. After the modified par 3 start, we get to hole number 2. It's a 401-yard dogleg left. I take driver trying to play a draw out there. I do not do that, and I hit it way up to the high side of the dogleg, leaving myself a long way in. It was wet and kind of cool, so I tried to run kind of a 3/4 mini driver up there, just get something on the ground. It hit it pretty well. It just gets caught up in the rough right before the green. I'm short-sided, so I hit a delicate little chip, and it runs maybe 6-7 feet past. I have this putt for a 4. Never really a committed stroke, but getting a pop here, that's a net par, and I'm even through 2. Hole 3 is a beautiful dogleg right that goes downhill, and it's the first good example of Tillinghast at work where you have to move the ball left to right, but if you do it too much, like I do it here, you end up in jail. I just have to try and punch something out, which I'm able to do, takes kind of a good kick, and sets me up with a wedge into the green. Little 3/4 swing, and I put too much on it and end up on the back of the green. I like this putt for a long way. They call it no break Bethpage, and that's why. It hangs up high, and I tap it in for a net par. Hole 4 is a kind of longer par 3. There's a couple of these on this course, and it's tough to see from this angle, but it's an absolutely beautiful hole with bunkers in front of the green. I make pretty good contact, but I end up just short and kind of unlucky. It hangs up into this rough, and I just kind of have to hack something out. Don't hit a very good one and end up on the fringe. That putt had a really good line, I just didn't give it enough. And I tap it in for another net par. I'm still even through 4. One of the things Tillinghast does really well at Bethpage is he uses the ridges. Hole 5 is a short par 4, but you kind of hit in a little bit of a valley, and then the approach is straight up a hill to a green that sits atop one of these ridges. And you can see how the view is kind of obscured by these hills. It's a really great hole. I don't take enough club to account for the hill, and I end up short of the green, but I take putter from maybe 3-4 yards off, and unfortunately just hit it way too hard, leaving myself a really long putt for a 4. Hole 6 tees off from way up on top of that ridge, and it's a dogleg left that you stay up on top for the drive, and then the approach goes down to the green. Unfortunately, it's kind of a theme. I leave it up on the high side of the dogleg in the rough, and then I just don't get through it, and I leave my approach way out to the right. It's a pretty simple chip on. Just have to give myself a putt at it, which I'm able to do. And here, it's the exact line I have. This is the kid I was playing with. Watch this. It's probably one of 10 birdies he made. So, I have a shorter version of it. Surely I can know exactly what it does. And I just leave it high. But that's another par, still even. Third of the way through the round and I'm still even, which is great. But we come to the second long par 3 on the front. Kind of a plateau-ish green. And I just cold shank this. End up in the rough, right of the cart path, kind of under some trees. But I was actually really proud of this shot. It was maybe a 40-yard pitch, and I was able to throw it up on the green and give myself a putt at 3. It was straight downhill, and somehow I left it way short. And then just not a committed putt, and it's my first bogey of the day, 1 over. This stretch that's about to start, I think, is classic Tillinghast. It's rugged and it's long. And if you watch much of my channel, you know I don't hit it very far. So I kind of enter the lion's den here. The big thing is just don't get off course. And as you can see here, I yanked this one way left. Brutal lie. I try and hit an iron out of there and just kind of flub it. End up somehow in a worse lie. You can't tell how hilly that bunker is, and I'm able to just hack a wedge out. But now all of a sudden I'm hitting 4 from like a mile away. I actually hit a really good one here. It is trying to work right to left, and it just doesn't quite get as far as I need it to. But it leaves me a putt for net par, which would be huge. But instead, I read a bunch of break into it that's not there. But I do make a clutch 4-footer there to keep a bogey on the card, +2. And then I move on to hole number 9, which is a 466-yard par 4. Seems categorically unfair, but I do get 2 strokes here. I hit a great drive, but there are these hidden kind of bunkers, and because it's so rugged, it just looks like it's part of the landscape, and I end up in this fescue, just trying to hack something out. I know it's too long for me to go for anyways. I have a nice wedge from the middle of the fairway, and this thing is so on line, it's stupid. Unfortunately, it's like 30 feet short. Hit a really good putt here. Would have been awesome to get a 4 net 2, but ends up right next to the hole. I pick it up. That's my first net birdie of the day, and I finish the front 9 at +1. Then I move on to 10, a 451-yard par 4. I told you, this is absolutely brutal. And I go pretty far right here. Luckily, it is wide open, so there's fairway over there. I know 451 yards, I'm not going to get there, so I just kind of hack something forward, leaving myself a wedge. And this kind of becomes my strategy for a lot of the back 9, because it's just too long for me to get there into. Bad approach. I chip up, and as you can see, it just kind of runs out. So these holes are starting to beat me up a little bit. Read too much break into it, and, you know, that's another bogey. Back to +2. Hole 11, 462-yard par 4. I don't know why I played the tips with these guys. It was just difficult. Hit a great drive here, but I'm just a mile away from my second. I'm in the rough, and again, just try and make good contact, compress the ball, move it up there towards that dog leg. I'm able to do it pretty well. Still in the rough, though. I'm feeling decent about the shots I'm hitting. This one ends up right next to the green. Hitting for 4. My chipping, it's been yippy, which I don't love, but it's been good today. I have a little putt for a net par here. Don't make it, and, now I'm at a 217-yard par 3. I don't have a 3-wood. It's into the wind, so I choke down on a mini driver, and I try and run something up there. Unfortunately, I try and run it through a bunker. Not the prudent play, I guess you'd say. End up in the bunker, maybe like a 30-yard shot. I just get under it, and well short of the green. Take putter, just trying to get out of here with some kind of 2-putt. Don't get it done, leave it short. It's a bogey. I'm now at +4, and this section is eating my lunch. It's a little shorter here, 400-yard par 4, but I take mini driver. I like the way I was hitting that all around. So you see me switching back and forth between my normal driver and my mini driver. This one, there's this just bunker in the middle of the fairway. The only time I hit it in the middle of the fairway. I could only take 9-iron to try and get out of it, so now I've got a wedge. Pull this one a little left, but it was actually one of my better swings of the day. I was going for the middle of the green. I got the middle of the green. And it leaves me this putt for 4 net 3. Could tell right away the speed wasn't right. And at least it's not another bogey, which I'll take on a 400-yard hole. Tap it in, stay at +4. 435 yards. I mean, dear God, make it stop. Hit driver out there, high side of the dog leg, you know the story. And didn't hit it very well, so now I'm doing mini driver again. Just absolutely chunk it, roll it into the rough. I'm upset. I really like this swing, but it goes right, leaving me a chip. And for those of you that know I have the chipping yips, let me just let you watch this.
But still, like that's just a sign, not like an end all be all.
It was great playing with you guys. I'm out of here. So.
Hey kid, how about a chip in for a net birdie? Love to see that. Backed up by a 450-yard par 4, but luckily this is the other hole I get 2 strokes on. Drive, it gets out there. I can't go for it, so I just kind of take an 8-iron here. Put myself in position to have a wedge in. Took a good divot there. It was right on line, but kind of like earlier, it comes up a little short. I'm feeling good about my chipping, so I try and chip it in. Doesn't really work, rolls out just past. But a nice putt there with 2 strokes. That's another net birdie, 2 in a row. Hole 16, 565-yard par 5, or as I like to call it, the longest hole on planet Earth. Don't love the drive. I end up finding it in the trees. And let me know if this ever happens to you. I go to punch it out, and boy, I just hit it so well. It goes straight through the fairway into some more trees. You hate to see it. Look at that lie. A little bit of an ambitious shot. I chip it between those 2 trees. Now 4th, I just hit a wedge too far and end up on the back of the green. It's going straight downhill. Delicate shot. Feeling good about the chipping though. Now I have a short little putt. Breaks pretty hard right to left though. and I don't get it. So unfortunately, that is a net bogey. Give back one of the birdies I just made. Finally, a manageable hole with an iron in my hand. Hole 17, it's par 3. Goes down over a gully and then up to the green. Can't mess with that bunker on the right, so I pull it left, miss the green left, have another chip. Unfortunately, this one just rolls out too far. You can't tell, but this green is very, very canted. We were playing a match, and they gave me that putt, so I'll take it. But that's a net par. Hole 18, downhill, dogleg right. I absolutely crushed this drive. Unfortunately, I'm kind of blocked out, so I have to hit a cut mini driver. The green is elevated, and there's a bunker in front of it. Unfortunately, I hit the lip, and it drops back in. Absolutely thin this one out, goes over the green. And my review of Bethpage Red is, it is a lot more fun than the black. You might not know the holes like you would know the black from, the Open or the upcoming Ryder Cup. But if you go out to Bethpage, of course you want to play the black. Try and find out a way to play the red too. You get the classic Tillinghast vibe. You get the great architecture, the shot values. You get the length, the difficulty if you want it. It's an absolutely world-class golf course, and I can't recommend it enough. I shoot a 92 gross, which net 72, so I met my goal of breaking 75, 4 over. Really proud of this round and the fight I had, and I can't wait to get back and play again.